Hello everybody, how are you doing? Grüezi miteinander, Gregory von Lebe here. So I thought I'll make a short Q&A and see if you guys have any questions concerning kettlebells that I can help you out with. Because we have something big coming this weekend. Actually, we are releasing 90 gains of kettlebells. I took the advice of my brother Funk Roberts, who told me, Gregory, you always got to think about Gypsy. Come here. You know, Gypsy's with me, so I got to take care of the boy. You should look at him. Baista. So 90 gains of kettlebells, guys, is I took the advice from my brother Funk Roberts, who told me, Gregory, you got to use your time well and keep creating workouts, keep creating courses. And while you are investing a lot of time on YouTube, always think about what you are supposed to do and why you have been put on this planet. So I took his advice, and I came up with 90 games of kettlebells. And it's a powerful course. That's the first thing that I want to talk about. And then see if we have any questions in the chat. And if we have, I'll gladly help you out. See where you are in your journey and see how I can help you out. I also got some questions on the YouTube channel that I will share with you if we don't have a lot of questions in the chat, because sometimes it's just not possible for me to react to all comments. And I'm not saying this because I'm so such much. I'm saying this because we have a lot of, the business grows, or let's say like the online presence grows to a certain extent, where if I would just check out everything all the time, it would probably be overwhelming. So now let's just switch into 90 gains of kettlebells. That's what I want to show you guys. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and thank you for spending your time with me. And let me just introduce to you 90 gains of kettlebells. Let's see. Boom. You should now see the screen. Let's see if that is the case. Yes, it's so. Guys, here we are. Now, 90 Gains of Kettlebells is an online kettlebell course for men over 30 who want to build functional and aesthetic muscle in 12 weeks without having to spend hours in the gym. So maybe if you're familiar with our online kettlebell courses, we started with 90 days of kettlebells, and this is where we help you lose weight with an easy to follow workout system and an easy to follow nutrition coaching system. Now here with 90 Gains of Kettlebells, I actually tried to fill a void because I read the book of Dr. Brad Schoenfeld, his hypertrophy book, The Science of Muscular Hypertrophy, I think it is called. And it's an awesome book. You should go get it. So I thoroughly read it, and there's a lot of things in there that I already knew, but also a lot of things that I didn't know. So what I tried to do is apply Dr. Brad Schoenfeld's research and what he says about muscle building applied to the kettlebell. Because what is kettlebells, or why do you use kettlebells, or what are they mostly used for? I think this is the proper question to ask. Kettlebells are mostly used for either building endurance or power development. It is not the first tool to use when it comes to building muscle. And there's multiple reasons for this. And while you can build muscle with kettlebells, there are certain write-offs that we have to make. But since the kettlebell also touches other important aspects of human performance, which includes building quality muscle, I think you can still pull it off. And here you see our client, Rico, how he was able to change his body with 90 gains of kettlebells. Now, this is not, actually, I have to clarify. 90 gains of kettlebells builds on a system that Rico used to build muscle and look like this. And it was an amazing transformation. And the critical thing is to understand what muscular hypertrophy is all about, the important parameters that you have to understand, the frame that you have to understand of hypertrophy, of building muscle, and then applying it to the kettlebell. Now, that's what we did with 90 gains of kettlebells. And it releases this weekend. I'm happy, I'm looking forward, and I think I've struck a hornet's nest with this because I think we are able to place this course between building muscle, building endurance, building power, and now you have finally something where you can say, okay, now I'm going to engage in just purely trying to build muscle with the kettlebell. Because we also we say this even here. Now, if you'd have asked me, what's the best way to build muscle? I'll tell you in an instant. I'll tell you, you know what? The best thing to build muscle is to hit a gym. And to use all the equipment that is in the gym. Dumbbells, barbells, machines, cables. That's just the best thing to build muscle. Yet many of us, first of all, do not have access to a gym. Or maybe we have a kettlebell. Second thing is we don't want to go to the gym because it costs a lot of time. You're stuck in traffic. Then you have to wait in line before you're able to choose your machine. Then it takes a lot of time if you have a family, a job, and you want to, bring it all together under one umbrella. You'll maybe like, that's not my thing. And most people don't want to look like bodybuilders. So when we think about building muscle sometimes, and I was stuck in that position as well, it was like, hey, building muscle means trying to look like Phil Heath. But that's not the case. Or looking like a men's physique guy. That's not the case. Building quality muscle means to have an aesthetic physique that comes close to just, looking good on the beach while still being able to perform well. Having huge chunks of muscle and not being able to perform, that's not what most, or just, let's say like what most men over 30, I believe, want to achieve. So, and another thing that you have to maybe consider is, okay, I'm going to use the gym, but hey, what happens if the next pandemic breaks out? What happens if you take a look at the political climate right now, what happens if things are shifting to a degree where I'm like, wow, I cannot even hit the gym anymore because maybe, I don't know, maybe I have to save money, maybe, certain situations that are happening. So, or maybe the gym next to me just closed down and then you're stuck, right? So then the idea is, okay, I need something that can help me to build muscle, be strong, build endurance, be there for my family. And I wanna be able to achieve this goal while still being able to live my life with all these different priorities and the responsibilities that I have in life. So that's what 90 Gains of Kettlebells is for, guys, and it releases this weekend. We already have 30 people on the waiting list. It's fascinating. It went really, really fast. So if you're interested, check the link in the chat. It's called 90gains.com. And it should take you straight to the landing page. So that was a big intro because, if I want to answer your questions, of course, I have to place the sponsor. And we are the sponsor. I'm sponsoring myself. It's actually funny. We get a lot of requests or, a lot. Maybe that's depending on the eye of the beholder or it depends on perspective. But we get some requests for placing advertisements and sponsors on the channel. And the first thing that we just started doing is we're working now with Manscaped. I love these guys, and it's a great collaboration with Manscaped. By the way, I think it's you find it in the chat. You should find it in the description. Manscaped is not sponsoring this stream, so that's why it's maybe not there. But you get 20% off if you check out the Manscaped website, where you can buy a trimmer, a hair trimmer for your, the space that's between your legs for men. And it's fast. It's a great tool. I use it as well, and they're very cool guys. And so these are the ones that we are having a connection with. So if you want to buy one of these hair trimmers, then you can hit manscaped.com and add the code LS for 20% off plus free shipping. So see, I'm saying this even though the video is not sponsored by them, but I have a great cooperation with them. But everything else is just, it's not what we're focusing on. So when people are trying to advertise or sponsor, I had this conversation with Angie. I'm always telling her, I'm like, listen, if somebody wants to sponsor something, it has to fit with the product. It either has to fit with, Manscaped fit because we have 90% men watching this channel in my age group. And I think we still want to look good, right? And doesn't matter where. And other than that, the product has to fit. So I'm taking a huge detour just to tell you that, we're getting some sponsor requests, but nah. I don't want to fool with you guys. I really appreciate the fact that we're all close to 40,000 subscribers. It took us only 1,111 videos. It's crazy. And I'm still finding out. What's funny, guys? I'm still finding out what you guys want. And I think it's just workouts, right? You guys want kettlebell workouts. And just maybe a small subset of tutorials, but I see it in the analytics. Workouts, that's what's up. And I'm still trying to find out the perfect niche after 1,000 videos. Isn't that crazy? But I love it. So I'm highly appreciative of the fact that you want to spend your time with us, with me right now. And that's why I don't want to sell you some bull crap or some stuff that just to make money. That's not, no. I have spent too much time and too much effort to build this community. And I don't want to mess with you guys because I really appreciate it. And yeah, that's what's up. So there's one sponsor. Yeah, I already told you it's me, and maybe you know him.
Stravo, my name is of no importance to you. Just know this. I sponsored today's video of Lebe. In the back you see my friend Igor. We are both hunting for good kettlebell channels. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Lebe YouTube channel. Or else, comrade, we can't consider you to be a true student of the art of kettlebell training.
That's what's up, guys. So here I am. I'm checking out your questions, and I'm going to answer them right now. And please, very important, if you see that I'm not answering your question, maybe I don't see it here in the chat. Then maybe you can ask it again, or maybe it's already been answered previously. Okay, so let's get into this. Jay Johnson, how much wood? This happened last time as well. People asking funny questions, and then I was like, why are people asking funny questions? And then I was like, yeah, because it says the title of the video is AMA, Ask Me Anything. But I want to make sure that you guys can ask me anything about kettlebells, okay? If it's kettlebell related, I'll do my best to answer you, because if it goes outside of that realm, I'm not sure if I would be the qualified person to help you out. So, here we go. How much wood can a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Can I say this fast? How much wood can a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Yeah, great question. I don't know. I don't handle. I'm not working with. I'm not a lumberjack, but I think that's it. How'd you say it? A tongue twister, right? A tongue twister, right? That's the English description for it. Yeah, a lot. Let's just say this: a lot. Hey Gregory, Zombie Binary, what's up, brother? Dion Galichan, what kettlebell exercises do you recommend for cyclists? Great question. And you know what's funny? Before I get into the question, answering the questions, I'm changing my opinions on the go. I don't want to make this too long. Guys, if you follow what we do, you are bound. You will see me change opinions in certain directions, because I'm having conversations with great people. I'm reading a lot of books. I call it the quest for truth when it comes to kettlebells. And especially on the podcast, I learn a lot of stuff. And I'm now setting up a podcast with a person that you all know, which, wow, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it's going to be fascinating. A lot of storytelling going on there. I hope it happens. And just to make sure, sometimes I see things differently than maybe I said something, maybe sometimes even 2 or 3 months before. And then somebody I'm having conversations, then I'm like, wow, really? So I don't want to seem like a flag in the wind that's like, depending on where the wind blows. But sometimes if I'm hearing good arguments, then I'm like, wow. And the more I learn about this stuff, guys, the more I realize that I don't know anything. It's a fascinating, and I love this. It's a fascinating topic. That's why I can't get enough. So what kettlebell exercise do you recommend for cyclists? Depends on your goal. What is your goal as a cyclist? Do you want to become stronger, or do you want to build your endurance? I think both can help you. Being stronger maybe can help you, that if you are a cyclist and you want to go up the mountain, then stronger muscles will probably help you to propel yourself forward faster, right? And building more endurance means that you're able to keep this cadence on an average level and an average output that might be slightly higher than before. So I tend to do the same, or I tend to recommend the same exercises. Swings, cleans, snatches, if you're into building your endurance, and then maybe grab some doubles if you have double kettlebells, and then grab some heavy kettlebells for deadlifts, press, squat to build strength. Zombie Binary, struggling with the Turkish get-up after coming back to kettlebells years later and with 3 back surgeries. Wow, what would you suggest? Work the sit-up portion and reverse lunge separately to build that support. Brother, I'd be very careful with this. If you had 3 back surgeries and you're like, I'm not sure with the get-up, because it depends on where the back surgeries were, but the get up really requires for you to understand a proper side hinge, and a proper side hinge means, at least that's a hypothesis, right, that you want to protect your lower back as much as possible and then be able to rotate your T-spine as freely as possible. So mobility has to be on par. You have to understand the movement pattern. So maybe my recommendation would be leave the get up away. Just build some solid strength with press, squat, swing. See how your body reacts to it. And once you've come back to a certain layer of strength, then you're like, okay, now let's give a shot. Let's give it a shot. Let's give the Turkish get up a shot. Because sometimes we're so emotionally attached to certain exercises. Well, I can really tell you guys, you don't have to be attached to emotionally. I think this is so important for you guys to understand. You don't have to be emotionally attached to an exercise or to an opinion. If you are really going down the wrong route. Because as soon as somebody says something against your favorite exercise or your favorite opinion, your favorite teacher, your favorite what, then you get mad. But at the end of the day, is you wanna listen, especially to bright people and people who really understand their stuff. Maybe they say something that goes against what you heard or that goes against your favorite exercise. Listen to them. Right? So I would dismiss the get up, brother, and just use basic exercises where you don't have to bend your spine as much, or maybe don't do crazy stuff with your spine, so to speak. And once you gotten back, try to get back to the get up. Pade, stimmt es, dass der Kettlebell Swing den Beckenboden trainiert und die Durchblutung der Prostata fördert? So Pade is asking if the kettlebell swing is training the... Oh, how'd you say this in English? I don't know. Let's ask Google. The pelvic floor. The pelvic floor. All right. And the prostate. Right. Okay, got it. So he's asking whether the kettlebell swing trains the pelvic floor and the blood flow in your prostate. Great question. I don't know. What I can tell you is that it works the posterior chain. But if that works your pelvic floor, because these are certain muscles as well, because I've been to a gym where they have this special device that they use to train the pelvic floor, and the blood flow in the prostate. Well, we can assume maybe because everything happens in the hip, that maybe this increases blood flow, but I'm not sure. So I can't tell yes or no, right? YouTube Punk, my brother, let's go. David Bognar, what happened to his legs? Did his quads grow too? Maybe he's referring to somebody. And chicks are not into that either. Gyms won't like, whatever. YouTube Punk, gyms won't let you take the kettlebells home with you. No, they won't. Tiago Leite, hello, greetings from Brazil. I have used kettlebells to train for about 2 months now. Awesome, brother. But I'm struggling to compose training sessions to focus on hypertrophy. Do you have some? Love it. Tiago, my brother, I love it. I just had a huge introduction to 90 gains of kettlebells. Now, the short version, check the link in the chat. It sends you to our brand new kettlebell course that opens up. It's a paid course. It opens up this weekend. It's called 90 Gains of Kettlebells, and this is where we help people build muscle with kettlebells. But let me give you a quick rundown or a quick answer to your question. So what do I have to focus on if I want to build muscle with kettlebells? You have to understand that, first of all, the kettlebell is made to either build endurance or build power. So you have to understand the proper parameters of hypertrophy and muscle building. So that means maybe you want to stay away from the ballistics a little bit, and then you want to increase the grinds. These are the heavy exercises, right? Deadlift, press, squat. Then you want to maybe periodize your training schedule. So how we do it in 90 Gains of Kettlebells is we have the first periodization phase, that's 4 weeks. We call it the strength phase. Then the second phase, another 4 weeks, that's the metabolic phase. This is where we include the ballistics to a certain extent. And on the final phase, we have the hypertrophy phase. So if we listen to how hypertrophy works, we have one common denominator that everybody agrees on, and that is mechanical tension. This is what drives hypertrophy. That's one thing that you want to focus on. Understanding that you want to work your muscle and do it, with the yielding and the overcoming phase, right? And especially in the yielding, okay, where let's say like a biceps curl, the yielding phase is where you bring the kettlebell or the dumbbell down. This is the yielding phase. This is where you want to focus your energy and maybe increase the time that it takes for you to work in the yielding phase. For example, if that will be a press, I'll take my time to bring the kettlebell down into the rack, because the yielding phase yields most, or is responsible for triggering hypertrophy, right? So that's the two aspects that I will focus on. And it's not easy to do if you do it on your own, because the kettlebell has a specific unique nature that you have to understand and mix it into building hypertrophy. But I hope this helps to a certain degree. Tech 411 ETE has kettlebells on sale, 99 cents a pound. Great deal. Oh, that sounds great. Jeremy Koch, hello from Malaysia. Yo, what's up, brother? Saket Vazist. Hi, Gregory. Greetings from New Delhi. Oh, India. Sending you love back, brother. Your views on how to prevent blisters below fingers, particularly during long cycle. All right, this here. First of all, technique. All right. The better your technique, and let me demonstrate this with. I love this. These are kettlebells for kids, and they have been sent to me as a gift from my brother Moses Dunker from the Kettlebell Sanctuary in Las Vegas. He trains kids. So understanding that, I showed this so many times, but it's so important to understand. Blisters are formed if we don't understand how to switch between the finger grip and the hook grip. So if we continuously have a strong grip, and then we try to do this, right? Watch this. Okay, you can see the handle chafing off my palm skin, and as soon as you use heavier weight, it's going to destroy your palm skin. So we have to understand how to release the grip and then jump between the hook grip, right, and the finger grip. So not connecting as much with your palm, but staying palm free, so to speak, and being able to jump. But the heavier the weights get, the stronger you have to grab them, the more you include your palm, and the more blisters will form. But if you look at professionals like Denis Vasilev, he's a kettlebell champion. He almost has no blisters on his hands because his technique is so perfected. So that's why I'm saying technique is important. The weight that you're working with is important. And of course, I think one of the most important aspects is how much long cycling are you doing? I've heard people who snatch 3 times a week, and then they always walk around with bloody hands. And my sensei, Steve Carter, taught me, maybe you want to snatch once or twice, maybe, with high intensity per week. Because you have to give your weakest link in the chain, which is your palm skin, even if you have great technique, time to heal. Hey Chris 1, sometimes I get golfer's elbow doing kettlebell work. Any advice? It may be that you are gripping and ripping the weights, right? So that flares up your problem right here, right? Because what's golfer's elbow, I think, is an inflamed, is something like tendonitis, inflamed tendons, right? So if we work with kettlebells and we always work like this with a lot of tension, this means the muscles are always active, the tendons are, everything is always, there's always a lot of blood going through it. So then we use and then we add the ballistic aspect of kettlebells. So this keeps really hammering your muscles. So this may increase your problem. So in order to avoid this, you want to understand what it means to get loose. Understand that your hands and your arms are hooks who are attached to the weight. And if you're new to kettlebells, that's what happened to me as well. If you're switching from barbells and dumbbells and machine work, you're always used to tension, using, we're handsy creatures, using your arms and everything. But when it comes to kettlebells, you have to understand how to use your arms as hook and get loose. So my recommendation or my advice would be get loose and see if this improves the situation. Jeremy Koch, you can consider implement the 21-day challenge proposed by your sensei, Steve Carter. Yes, I saw this. I saw that Sensei Steve, he shared something on his IG, which I think is a great idea. The 21-day, I think he posts once a day a workout or a training that you can do, which is fascinating. And we did it, I think, 1 month before I saw, I was thinking about an idea of a video. And then I saw, I was checking out Athlete X's stuff, and he came up with a 21-day challenge for abdominals. And then I was like, oh, let's use 21 days for kettlebells. So we have a similar idea, but in Steve's case, I think it's more. I think it's a couple of exercises as a workout. And what we did is I break it even more down. It's 1 exercise per day, and then it slowly increases in difficulty. So if you're interested, just type in 21 days and then Lebe stark, and then you should find it. Igor, yeah, he's back in the game. Commenting is dangerous. Is there a certain kind of chalk you use while using your kettlebells? We use actually 2 types of chalk. Now let me show it to you. No, I don't have that one with me. So we just use liquid chalk. But there's differences in liquid chalk as well. The one type of liquid is, because there's always a problem that with the liquid chalk. But I'm gonna show you too. So the big problem that always happens with chalk is, with liquid chalk, is right here. Now you don't see it, but sometimes it builds up some thick, it's here, see that? It builds up some thick kind of mass, and then it sometimes clogs the bottle. That's one type of problem that I have encountered with this type of chalk. But then there's other types of chalk that is not as liquid, that is a little bit thicker. It happens there as well. But we use liquid chalk. But I thought about maybe using powder chalk as well. But I know that powder creates a great mess in the gym. And Angel's going to chop my head off. But no, on a serious note, even this causes some mess. But hey, you know, that's what it is. Rich Moreno, I love the workout videos, but also an explanation of what areas of the body each exercise targets. Thanks for your great channel videos and enthusiasm. Thank you, brother, man. Really appreciate it. Wow, my question got skipped. Brother, no! Hey! I've answered your question, brother. He might see when it... Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I'm a little bit... Yeah. You got it. You got to have patience. Answer to the woodchuck question. He could cut a quarter of a quarter. You guys are... I love you guys. He could cut a quarter of conifer if you gave him a quarter for every quarter he cut. Love it. Brian Holiday, thanks for the $10 donation, brother. Thank you so much. I've been using kettlebells in the gym for a few months with great results, but I noticed that I'm starting to get pain in my neck and shoulders. Maybe from swings and get-ups. Any suggestions? Brian, there could be a lot of reasons, right? Posture is one reason. Always staying incredibly tight and tense. This can cause trouble up here. And another thing that can cause trouble is overtraining. And I think overtraining or training too much comes at a slow pace. It's like a snail. It seeps into your workout without you, or it seeps into your training schedule without you even noticing it. So maybe check back and see, hey, have I been training too intensively for too long? Have I been lifting too hard for too long, too heavy? Too hard, too heavy for too long? Maybe it's time to take a break. What I love to do is every 8 to 12 weeks, I take a full week off. This is my deloading phase. But you can also use deloading workouts. We use this type of method in 90 gains of kettlebells, where we're like, hey, when we have an intensive phase, because in the final phase of 90 gains of kettlebells, you will do 4 workouts per week. So that's 2 workouts. It's a split type of training. And believe me, the hypertrophy phase, these 2 workouts, wow. We do everything that we put on the channel, or that we put into our courses. And this workout, wow. Monsters. These are monsters, these 2 workouts. And what happens is, if you go very intense, you zone in, you're like, okay, I'm gonna do it for 4 weeks, but then I gotta take a break, or I gotta use some deloading. So maybe, Brian, that can maybe help you. Any tips on fixing skinny fat? Rohan. Nutrition. All right. You know, anything that has to do with you losing fat or burning fat is mostly a question of nutrition. Yes, you can increase the caloric output with your training, but there's only so much you can do. You maybe heard of this. You can't out-train a bad diet. And at the end of the day, maybe you want to make sure that when it comes to your workouts, you maybe want to gear towards using some type of workouts that increase time under tension, and that also increase the time you're working on a regular basis. So what do I mean? For example, if we do, let's say like you have a double deadlift and a double press, these are heavy grinds and they'll wear you out quickly. But let's say like you have a swing and a clean and a snatch with a lighter weight, you can work continuously. Maybe this goes into some type of endurance training then, but you'll also burn more calories. So maybe the idea would be, okay, I want to combat my skinny fat. I'll make sure I check my nutrition. Am I in a caloric deficit? And you can do a simple calculation. Doesn't have to be Einstein math. It can be very, very easy. And then maybe you track your food, right? There's so many apps that offer free versions where you can just track your food. You do it for a couple of days, and then you're like, okay, where am I? Then you maybe add some greater variety or some greater nutrients. maybe add some more veggies, add some more fruits, and maybe cut out some, it's always the regular stuff. It's the refined stuff that you maybe want to cut down. Make sure you reach some type of caloric deficit. Doesn't have to be a caloric deficit like this where 3 days later you burn out because you're so hungry. A small one, and then you adjust your training schedule where you're like, okay, let's use some type of training that burns a little bit more calories. So that would be my way to fix skinny fat. Zombie binary still, you guys are rocking in the chat. Love you guys, man. My main issue is mostly with the transition from the lunge position back up to standing. One of my legs is weaker than the other due to muscle trope. Brother, what you can do is just regular lunges or squats. I think there's one question that you maybe want to ask yourself. I've had these back surgeries. I'm having some imbalance issues with my legs. So what is my goal? Do I want to get stronger, fitter, so I can combat these 3 back surgeries and make sure that I have a solid, strong back that can handle these surgeries post-op, right? And do I want to use some exercises to build up and strengthen my legs? Or do I just want to get back to the Turkish gut-up, right? So that's why I told you, if we are emotionally attached to certain exercises, maybe it's sometimes a good thing to just detach and be like, okay, squats and lunges. That's what, and the beautiful thing about it is, that's what the kettlebell is so powerful, is the unilateral aspect. Because you can just focus on one part of your leg, for example, with the lunge, and then the kettlebell, if you rack it on one side, let's say you take the step back with the right leg, you rack the kettlebell on your right arm, then you have all these stabilization going on. This means a lot of muscles have to work to keep your body stable. That's why the kettlebell is such a powerful tool. Badnaf 10, your best single 24 kg kettlebell workout, like Dan John's 10,000 swings. Your best single, I think the best single 24 kettlebell workout is Steve Cotter's IKFF test. That's 100 swings, 32 clean and jerks, so that's 16 left, 16 right, 60 snatch, that's 30 left, 30 right, then 30 goblet squats, and then you rest in the bottom position of the squat for 1 minute with a 24 kg. This is the IKFF master test from Steve Cotter, right? Commenting, my brother, I would say all of the basic exercises. Usually, you guys are answering. Yeah, I love it, man. You're helping out each other. I love this. I love you guys. Love that community that we're building. Best kettlebell for kampsportler. Okay, great kettlebell exercises for fighters to increase punching power. Anything that increases torque in your hips. As far as I know, I'm not an expert when it comes to fighting, but I think I know that all the force that you are able to generate is in your center. And where is your strength center? Your hips. So if you're able to generate a lot of power from your hips, so that be swings, clean, jerk, squat, lunge, maybe even the get up, so that increases torque in your swing, in your hip. I would even, hard style swings, some heavy kettlebells, really heavy kettlebells, where you perfect your hard style swing technique. I think that would be, if a fighter would come up to be like, listen, I want to be stronger in the punching, I'd say like hard style swings with heavy weights to increase power development from your hips. Best movements to build lunge strength. Lunges. Right? Lunges. Brian Holiday. I'm wondering if there's something up with your form. Yeah, about form, guys. Let me take you on a detour. Gonna sound a little bit controversial right now, but form is not as important. Now, what do I mean by this? And technique is not as important. What do I mean by this? I've had this great conversations. Video's gonna be up on YouTube soon. I'm just working on it. I've had a great conversation with Neil May. He's a physiotherapist and a researcher from Australia, and also an RKC certified coach. So he called it the Bell Trial. He had elderly people, I think it was 50 people who joined the trial, 60 to 84 years of age, inactive, never moved, never trained before. And he had them train for 16 weeks, five days per week. intensity stuff, right? Intense stuff. I was like, whoa, you're nuts. And he was like, yeah, I wanted to try something out, right? Elderly population. Come to find out, the pandemic happens, so Neil is not able to coach them in person anymore. So the group sessions falter, and then they have to do it at home. So he gives out all these kettlebells, shares them with everybody, and they do their workouts at home. They come back after 16 weeks, and he finds that the technique is still the same. It would be qualified as bad according to coaching standards. But you know what? No injuries, no problems, but they reaped all the benefits, which is beautiful. Now, of course, I'm not saying that technique is unimportant. If you're swinging a 48 kg kettlebell hardstyle, you have to understand it. If you're swinging for the first time, you have to understand what it feels like. If you use the advanced exercises, get up, snatch, long cycle, doubles and stuff with competitions, of course you need proper technique. But what Neil shows, and we see this in experience as well, sometimes we coaches and everybody in this community is maybe overemphasizing technique. While it is still important, in certain contextualized situations, it's probably not as important as we think it is. So while I think that, Brian, maybe something's off with the form, maybe it's overtraining. My guess would be overtraining and posture, right? Because even if you have, and I'm not saying, I wouldn't even say it's form in the training. Most people walk around like this, right? So if we walk around with a hunch in this hunchback position, then there's always problems up here. So then it's not form, it's posture that we have to correct. So that's why in our coaching, in our studio, we use a lot of posture corrective measures to improve posture. Greetings from LA. You're a vital part of my daily life. Nikki Siam. Sending you love, brother. Thank you. Gregory, so strong. Handling the kettlebell like it's weightless. Zombie, is the hand insertion the main difference between a start style and a hand hardstyle snatch? Way I was taught was train the high pull and eventually introduce a punch maneuver. Yeah, that's typical hardstyle. Yeah, the hand, I think, yeah, there's a huge difference, is the hand insertion. Yeah. Jumping into the kettlebell and then spearing it. Big difference. Chai Bronze, Gregory, love your channel. The passion for kettlebell, yeah, workouts, video editing, and podcast guests are all amazing. Brother, thank you so much, man. Been learning a lot here. Keep up the great work. By the way, what does Lebe stark mean? Lebe stark means live strong. Lebe, that's the German word for live. And Lebe, it's the imperative form. So that's Lebe, live, right? And stark, it's strong, yeah. Or in another dimension, it's Tony Stark's brother, Lebe Stark, right? Mr. Stark's brother. I was using the powdered chalk the gymnasts use, and it made the blisters worse where I had almost none before. Thank you for that. Oh, really? Really? Wow. Interesting. Maybe the powder chalk makes it worse. Even if you have great technique, I'll have to try this. Thanks, man. Thiago, you look like Brtete, a League of Legends pro player from Brazil. Google him. Oh, I gotta do it. And you guys are following me. So what? What's his name? What's his name? Oh, for real? Felipe Gonçalves. Wow. Dude's good looking. Wow. Yeah, good looking, my man. Oh, I've had this too. Yeah, I've had this type of... Yeah, I've had this type of hair too. And now, as you can see, it's getting black again. And let me tell you guys, if any one of you... Oh, he even had it red. Oh, he looks like me. This dude looks like me. Here, really? I gotta show this to Angie. I didn't know, man. Love this. Yeah, there's a lot of good-looking people out there. Felipe Gonçalves, my main man. Yeah, man, I had it like this, man. And let me tell you, it's a pain. It's a pain in the butt, man. Because I always wanted it. I wanted it silver, so I still have some remnants of the silver. But as I have learned, it's not easy to get your hair to get that silver tone. And if you don't get it, and you wash your hair, even if you use silver shampoo, you get this off color. Digressing a little bit, but yeah, love this. Dude looks like, or I look like him. Yeah, and people always, you know what they all say? They say this. They say this. Even though I'd say he's more handsome than me. He's more handsome than me. That's a good-looking dude, man. Look at this. Yeah. That's a good-looking man. And that's what they also say. Hey, you look like Maluba. Funny. Digressing, guys. So let's jump back. Where is it?
Stravo. My name is of no importance to you. Just know this. I sponsored today's video of Lebe. In the back you see my friend Igor. We are both hunting for good kettlebell channels. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Lebe YouTube channel. Or else, comrade, we can't consider you to be a true student of the art of kettlebell training.
Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, that's what's up. let's call my brother Brt, okay? That's my main man, Brt. All right. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. Moses Dunker's in the chat. Awesome. Thanks for showing up, Moses. And you said something that is so powerful. Yeah. Oh, I missed it. Did I miss it? No, here it is. So, Jess S. I've got a 16, 20, and 24 kettlebell. Should my next buy be a 32 kg or a second smaller weight? I think with the 16, 20, and 24, you're settled with, I call these evergreen weights for men that most men can work with 16, 20, and 24. So, but a 32 can still be valuable when it comes to heavy swinging with hardstyle. But again, this great trial from my friend Neil May from Australia shows that it is probably not, or asks the question whether heavy weights in kettlebells are necessary at all, or what kind of benefits they do provide. Because that's such a you got to check it out on the Kettle Knights podcast, where he shows me that the ground reaction or net force, I think it's fast. I want to mention this, and I hope I do it properly, because wow, it's such a great conversation. He's a researcher, so I had to really pump up my brains to understand him. So he said he measured his swing. So he had an 8 kg swing. I think this can also answer your question, Jess says. He had an 8 kilogram. He did a swing. So then he compared the net force, right, that was happening in the 8 kg kettlebell with a 48 or a 56, I think. So that's a huge difference. So as you might have guessed, rate of perceived exertion, so that's intensity, the physical exertion went to the roof. You all know this. If you're swinging an 8 kg and then you jump up to the 48, the 48 is a beast, and then even heavier, these are beastly weights, right? So rate of perceived exertion goes to the roof, but here it comes. Net force goes up only 30%. Only 30%. You would assume that net force goes up through the roof as well, like 80% or something. But it's only 30%. So the question, compared to the 8 kg kettlebell swing, which is crazy. And you have to understand, Neil Mays is proficient at swinging because he's an RKC certified coach. So we cannot say it's technique. He swings the 8 kg with the same intensity as the 48. But Imagine net force goes up only 30%. Wow. So the question that we can ask ourselves probably is, where is the benefit of swinging heavy weights? So maybe that answers your question. Maybe if you want to get into doubles, yeah, why not? Because if you grab a second 16 kg, you can do double movements, which is fascinating, and you already have 30 kg, right? So then you can maybe deadlift with double 16s, and you get what the 32 can, which serve you alone as a kettlebell or as a standalone kettlebell. Sometimes I mix up the words. I apologize. I hope this helps. David, maybe a podcast with Mark Wildman would be amazing. Yeah, I think I reached out to him. No, I reached out to... if any of you guys know, but I think I'd have to reach out to him again. Joe Daniels from Swing This Kettlebell and Strength, right? I asked him, but it was on a YouTube channel. It was a YouTube comment where I asked him if he wants to join the podcast. But I have to hit him up per email. But I think I can talk about it. Yeah, it's not yet definite, but he was interested in joining the podcast, and that's John Duquesne. So I've sent him an email, and he was like, because I asked John Duquesne, for you guys who don't know, he's the Dragon Door CEO, and he was a pivotal figure when the kettlebell renaissance was happening in the 2000s with Pavel. So I hope this happens because I want to listen to these stories. What happened? Why did Pavel split? Why did he start with strong first? And how did John get into kettlebells? How did these two guys get along? And why his opinions on why the kettlebell was such a tremendous success. Yeah, I'm looking forward. I hope we can make this happen. Blah Fever, Lebe. Is it too bad to work out with two bells that are different weight sizes? This question keeps popping up a lot. What's her name? Cat's Kettlebell Dojo from New Zealand. She's big. She mentioned that she likes uneven training, and there might be some value in it. What I would make sure is if you are training unevenly, that you are then switching sides to prevent imbalances. But I mean, that's probably the only, how can I say it, the only point that we could criticize is that you are uneven training maybe creates imbalances. But hey, go for it. Still, if it gets heavier, I would, for example, never do a 24 and 28 kg long cycle. Yeah, wouldn't do it. Moses Danka, here it is. Every question asked about kettlebells should usually be answered with the answer, that depends. Yeah, most definitely. But, that's what everybody, sometimes when people are asking questions, I think I do that, right? I'm asking for goals, but sometimes people want straight answers. I think, Moses, you're sharing something that is very valuable. If you are getting your questions answered and you are drilling down the path of, or drilling down the rabbit hole of kettlebells, you will always hear this pop up a lot. It's contextualized. Context matters, and it depends. So, but Moses, if I would run every question like it depends, then I don't think the Q&A would be very entertaining. But most definitely, I get your point. Oh, Ahmed, salam, coach, my brother, you're the best. Keep up the greatness. Can't wait for 90 gains. See you on the flip side. Ahmed, my brother, love you, man. Satya Anil Kumar Vishnu Patla, can you tell me the proper breathing pattern for clean and jerk? I'm a big fan of yours. I think the proper breathing pattern is, and that's another thing that I've learned, right? I was always thinking about that shear forces are shear forces in kettlebells, right? Shear forces, that's this. Or this is your spine, and the shear force is this. The shear forces are evident in kettlebells. Come to find out, when I talk to folks who are deep into this stuff, so I talked to Neil May about this, and he had great inputs about it. So it seems like maybe shear forces are not relevant. So how can you then breathe in the long cycle? I used to think that we still have to use tension in the abdominals when we go up into the jerk, right? That's breathing into the nose. That's what I do a lot. I breathe into the nose. That's something that I have completely changed because there is value in nasal breathing. A lot of benefits to it. And so what I do is I clean the bells up, boom, I breathe into the nose, go up into the jerk, boom, top fixation, then I breathe out, then I rack the bells, then I go down to the backswing, breathe again, coming up from the backswing, the acceleration pull, breathe again, rack position, breathe again, and then breathing into the nose. But one thing that I also see when we work with clients is don't overcomplicate it, right? Use a natural breathing pattern, and once you understand and have perfected the long cycle, I think then you can focus explicitly on your breathing. And the breathing into the nose or just breathing in and then keeping tension is something I think I'm paraphrasing. I may be wrong on this, but I think that Dennis Vasilev also does this. So he racks the kettlebells. So that's the 12-time or 11-time world champion. So he racks both kettlebells, breathes in, boom, brings the kettlebell into top fixation, and then breathes out. Philip Oldham, thank you for your wonderful content. I'm an avid follower. Thank you, brother Philip. Can you talk a little more about breathing during hardstyle swings? When to breathe in specifically? What I do in hardstyle swings is when the kettlebell's in front of me, right? So I'm ready in the triangle. I pull the kettlebell into the backswing, and then I started incorporating this, and it feels awesome. It takes a little bit getting used to, but I think there is benefit in it. So I pull the kettlebell, I hike it, right? Pull it into the backswing. I breathe into the nose. So breathing into the nose creates, it's hypothesized that it increases the abdominal pressure, IAP, intra-abdominal pressure, and this may increase safety for your spine. So you breathe in, and once you, boom, blast the kettlebell, go into full lip extension, kettlebells will float. This is where you breathe out. But what you don't do is you fully breathe out. So this is where I always see value is, that's where I think power breathing or some form of power breathing is important, because what I never do, especially with heavy weights, is completely letting the air out and then really getting loose in my abdominal area. I keep tension, but I call it throw the trash out. And I call this type of breathing when the kettlebell comes back into the backswing, nose again, mouth, I call it cocaine breathing. It's easy to remember, right? Imagine you're sniffing cocaine. Bow! So that's how I do it. And yeah, I did a short on breathing recently. Yeah. You can check it out on the channel. David, how should I strengthen the hook grip? After a few sets, I'm too tired in my grip to hold on. Really? So what I see what happens in the hook grip, and these kettlebells are from Moses Dunca, a main man who just commented in the chat. So this is what the hook grip is supposed to look like. Now these are, let me show you with the 8 kg, because then you see it's a bigger handle, because these are the ones for kids. So that's what a hook grip is supposed to be like. So David, if you can see this right now, as you can see, there is no tension, no nothing, right? Even here, nothing. So you should not get tired, muscular-wise, or muscle-wise, if that's a proper description. The idea is to rack the weight on your frame. I love it. My sensei Steve Carter calls it biomechanical efficiency. So that means attaching weight to your frame or to your skeleton. So maybe what happens is you feel it here, it burns, or maybe it's uncomfortable. That takes time, but it shouldn't be muscular work that happens in a proper hook grip. Zombie binary definitely attached to, I gotta go a little bit faster, guys, because yeah, we're almost done. Definitely attached to the Turkish kettlebell. I love it, but I did originally get into kettlebells because of the recovery therapy aspect for my back. Thankfully, my back isn't a problem. Okay. Yeah. Any more? Great. My back actually feels better for a number of days after. Awesome. That's what's up, man. And Paige, he's asking, Butnoff is telling Paige to check out Phil Daru. Yeah, great Great channel when it comes to fighting in kettlebells. So he incorporates a lot of kettlebell work for MMA athletes. My fitness journey. Hello, Gregory. When we know we are prepared to level up the kettlebell size. I'm a woman with 2 sets of 8 kg. Yeah, awesome. But I don't feel prepped to go for a 20. Best wishes from Spain. I think most women fare well with the 16 kg. We have very strong women in our sessions, in our group classes and personal training sessions. And when they opt in to really go heavy, they use 16 kg. And I'm talking about 16 kg for full body movements, overhead and stuff, and snatch and clean and press. So, yeah. Question is if there is even value of getting a heavier kettlebell at 20 kg. Of course, there's always value in having more kettlebells and more weights to choose from because you can, upgrade your deadlift, for example. But other than that, if you're safe if you feel really comfortable with a 16 kg and you move, and let's put it like this, if you're able to move a 16 kg the way Angie does it, then you can maybe jump up to a 20 kg. And even Angie uses 20 kg on rare occasions. Moses, people need to remember that things don't need to be perfect in order to get a result. Most definitely. That's what I was saying as well. Yep. Commenting is dangerous. Have you ever thought about doing any videos on nutrition and eating habits? Brother, I have to stick to kettlebells because that's what the audience subscribe to this channel for. If I would talk about nutrition, maybe we can... even if I would have to open up a second channel. I already saw it with the Kettle Nights podcast. It's also kettlebells, but it didn't do well on the channel, mostly. So I had to split it up. EN1. Hi, Gregory. I'm following much of your content and wondered in respect of unbroken and fluid movement, do you have an issue if fluctuating kettlebell weights are used where, for example, you're using a 20 kg? Nah, that's totally fine. If you're saying, okay, let's do the exercise unbroken or the workout, and then let's say the classic workout that we love, the Lebe workout, right? Swing, clean and press, or clean and jerk, and snatch. And then you say, okay, I use the 20 kg for the swing, and then boom, the clean and jerk starts. I drop the bell, I grab the 16, I keep going, and then with the snatch, I drop it and use the 12 and keep going. No worries at all. The idea of unbroken means that you want to continuously work as much as possible. And if you feel strong enough to continue throughout, but maybe your technique is not safe yet to master, for example, a snatch with a 16 kg, yet with the clean and jerk you're able to master it, switch it. Totally fine. Yeah, it's Zombie Binary, thank you so much for the $10 donation. No more questions from me. Let's hope just showing the channel some love. Thank you, man. You guys are great. Thank you. Ahmed, how's the juggling journey going? And any plans to come to Brooklyn, New York, and swing with the Wolves? Thank you, Ahmed. I'm really discovering juggling for me. I always incorporate it now on a weekly basis, and the better I get with it, the more fun it gets. And of course, if you listen to the master and you watch my brother Colin Daring rocking the kettlebell, my brother's killing it. And then, gotta show Brooklyn some love one day, most definitely. Vilu, STL. Hi, Gregory. What do you think about combining kettlebell workout with exercise like pull-ups or push-ups to get better? Yeah. Listen, guys, calisthenics, push-ups, pull-ups, dips, always. They go all day, every day, right? I mean, maybe not all day, every day on a consecutive manner, but you know what I'm saying. Pull-ups, push-ups, dips. These are monster exercises, which I believe you can do all day. Really incorporate them, and they work well with kettlebells, most definitely. Jess says, thanks. That gave me some good food for thought. You're welcome, brother. Commenting is, I thought you might like this quote, Gregory. Choose the pain of discipline over the pain of regret. Ooh, wow. Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Moses, John Duquesne got involved with Pavel after he took a flexibility class taught by Pavel. That's how all of this got started. From that one class, John and Pavel created the RKC. Yeah, I read that too. But still, I gotta get it from John himself. Independent Alex, hey, I started doing armor building workout by Dan John. Yeah, that's what's up. Great workout. However, I have messed up the right shoulder, so I can't go heavy on presses. Is there another exercise I can do instead of presses? Yeah, push-ups. And see how your shoulder fares with push-ups. And if it's too heavy, maybe you do push-ups on your knees. And if you do them properly, they're tough as well. So then you can do the armor building complex like this. You can say, okay, we have, I think it's 2 cleans, right? 2 cleans. 1, 2. Then you bring the kettlebell down and you can stay on the bells on the handle. 1 push up, clean the bell back up, and go down into a squat. Alex Jalke Guitar. Doing kettlebell workout 2 to 3 times per week. How long until I see good results here? That's a great question. I think kettlebells give you, like any other training discipline or like any other training modality, just stick with it long enough and you shall see results. So it's hard for me to say, yeah, you will see results in 1 month. For example, we had high responders who saw massive success in 3 months, who was like, whoa, like the genetic potential was seeping below the skin. And once his genetic potential, or her, it was even women as well, got connected with the kettlebell, it exploded. But I think if you're solid with 2 to 3 workouts, my guess would be maybe 2 months. You should start, and depends on what kind of results, right, you want. So if it is weight loss, maybe the nutrition is also an important aspect. But getting stronger and fitter, I would say you should see pretty quickly results when it comes to kettlebell training or with kettlebells. Satya Anil Kumar, I gotta pronounce his name, man. Satya Anil Kumar Vishnu Batla. Yeah, thanks for answering my question. You remind me of Novak Djokovic, actually. Novak, my brate Novak. I'm of Yugoslavian descent. All right, so I intentionally say Yugoslavia because back then my dad's from Serbia, right? But back then it was still Yugoslavia when Tito held the whole shtick together, and then unfortunately everything broke apart. But the funny thing is, my heritage is not even Yugoslavian or Serbian. It is Roma. And Romas are gypsies. Yeah. But they're everywhere. And I remember, my uncle telling me this. My dad didn't tell me. My uncle told me. And you all have these uncles, right? Everybody has these uncles where like they can get you anything, they can give you everything, and they'll share stories. They know everything. So that's my Uncle Jimmy. I love him. Yeah. So he shared this with me. He was like, yeah, we're Roman. And you know how I found out? I found out because when my uncle was talking to his wife, I never understood a word because they were speaking in the Romani language. I was like, what? That's not Yugoslav. That's not Serbian. Even, when you go up to Macedonia, or that's close to it, when I hear my Macedonian friends speak, I don't understand anything. But the Romani language, that's like, wow. And I think my dad doesn't speak it anymore. And, now with his old age, he talks German to me, but sometimes Serbian words seep in. And that's funny. It's beautiful. I love my dad, man. Yeah, always be aware of your heritage, guys. It's important. So we're done, but we have one more question, guys. If you have any more questions, I'm gonna finish the stream in a couple of seconds. Jorge Calderon. Oh, I love this. Calderon. That's such a great surname, man. Jorge. That's even a powerful first name, but Calderon. Calderon de la Calle. I love it. I always see my good friend of mine in the store, and I was like, "Hey, amigo, todo bien?" And he was like, "Yeah, todo bien. Luchando." He says we were fighting because when I ask about like, "Hey, how do you say this in Spanish?" We're like, "Hey, man, it's not good, but it's not bad. I'm fighting. It's you in German you say muss. So when somebody asks you, "How are you doing?" You're like, "Muss." So that means must. It's like, it has to be good. You got to keep it going, right? And so he says, luchando. I'm like, hey, para todos los amigos de la calle. I love the Spanish language, man. So beautiful. So here we go. Greetings from Tulum, Mexico, my brother. By far, this is the best kettlebell site on YouTube. My brother. Muchas gracias de la alma, de corazón, amigo. I'm 66 and have been doing kettlebells only for the last 2 years. Thanks for the excellent videos, life-changing. I love this, man. You know what's so powerful? We get that feedback a lot. The people I call it the sage and the wise part of the population. Those who have been on this planet a little bit longer and have seen some stuff. And I see that this part of the population really digs kettlebells. And I feel that in my heart because my dad is 82 years old. I really feel this strong urge and sense of helping the older population discover strength, because I love it. I'm reading the book right now from Edmond de Bonnet, The Kings of Strength. And one quote already jumped into my eye, and it goes like this. Strength is within everybody's reach. Now I got it. Strength is within everybody's reach. I love this. And I really have to say in my heart, I feel this. Whenever we have folks like you, Jorge, sharing their stories with me, then I'm always like, yeah, I feel a special connection. All right. Gregory over here with German, English. I'm just playing, guys. I just love languages. And I'm just playing, guys. So, I thought I was special just speaking English and Spanish. Oh, but you are. You're bilingual, right? Spanglish. So, guys, Gypsy's here. Huh? You know, Gypsy's all about Angie. Wow. Were you? Fertig, hey! Gypsy! Okay, guys, I think we can end it on this note. So thank you so much for... Hey, Gypsy! Gypsy! Wow, that's some serious sound from this Audi A3. Gypsy! It's all good, boy. Alles gut, Schatz. All right. So let's end it on this note. Thank you so much for joining, guys. I really appreciate it. Appreciate the love. We're reaching close to the 40,000 subscriber mark, which is another landmark in our journey with kettlebells and on YouTube. And it wouldn't be possible without you. So thank you so much for joining. Love you guys. And don't forget, 90 gains of kettlebells. You find the link in the chat, also in the description. If you're interested in checking out the course, do it. And if it fits you, we open up enrollment this weekend. So, guys, thank you so much for joining. Bye-bye. If you're looking for kettlebell courses that can help you lose weight, build muscle, and improve your kettlebell technique, then check out the Lebe Academy. Let us help you discover a new perspective on kettlebell training, making it simple and easy for you to understand. Join the waiting list of your desired course now and secure your spot when it's open for enrollment. Link is in the description.